we're going to turn left at the next set of lights and bring you alongside the International Wall. But look straight ahead to the Divis Tower. The top 2 floors of that building were occupied by the British Army throughout the conflict. Now, I could so easily say the top 2 floors were used by the Army during the Troubles. And anyone from Belfast would know instantly that the first time I said it, it came from a nationalist perspective, the second time from a unionist perspective. The way you speak, even today, is a giveaway as to what religion you are and where your politics lie. I mentioned Northern Ireland. Unionists talk about Northern Ireland all the time. Nationalists will normally say the North or the 6 counties. They feel by saying the words Northern and Ireland together that they're giving legitimacy to a state that they didn't want to see exist in the first place. Now, most people can tell what religion you are by the way that you speak. They wish they couldn't. It's simply a throwback from the Troubles, when even your name was a giveaway. If you were called Seamus or William, you might as well have had Catholic or Protestant tattooed right across your forehead, as far as some people were concerned. On the right, a paramilitary mural. On the right, international murals. This is the International Wall, a series of different murals that the people of the Falls Road, the nationalist people, sympathise with or support. Most of them are self-explanatory. Anti-racism, the hunger strike issue, the Palestinian question, to name just a few. Now, we're about to go right through the peace wall. This little caged area is no man's land. The cross on the left indicating this is a neutral space. We're going right through the peace wall. We don't need to be one religion or another to do so, and nor does anyone care. But in 1969, that was not the case. Thousands simply chose to leave Belfast, not just to escape the violence, but to take their children out of the clutches of the paramilitaries. Thousands simply chose to move to what they considered to be a safer part of Belfast. Is one of 17 peace walls that do still exist. Some people will tell you there's 50. There's not. They're counting dual carriageways, motorways, and they're counting pieces of modern art like I pointed out earlier. This wall started life as a series of burnt-out double-decker buses dividing Catholic from Protestant parts of streets. The security forces moved in, removed the burnt-out buses and replaced them with temporary barriers that became bigger and higher and are now a permanent reminder of the hatred and division of the past, and for a small, ever-decreasing minority, the present. But we're going to pull over just where this sort of white bit on the wall is. This will give you an opportunity to sign the wall. If you want, you don't have to. It's not seen as graffiti, but it's a way of leaving your mark. Thousands have signed the wall. They've left messages of hope for the future, mostly. Some of them very emotive, and some of them quite funny. So it's entirely up to yourself. Don't worry, I've brought a few markers with me anyway, so if you need a pen, just ask me. others write them on the wall. Now, coming up is a section of the wall devoted to the words of the famous. Now, we'll slow down just as we go past, so no need to stop. But if you look to the left now, at the top in the middle, you'll see the words of the Dalai Lama. Open your arms to change, but don't let go of your values. The words are embedded in the top. On the bottom right, the words of Bill Clinton. I did not have sex. No, sorry. Strength and wisdom are not opposing values. Yes, I always get those two mixed up quite deliberately. Now, the fact that the walls are still there, there's no doubt it's horrific. The wall's higher than the Berlin Wall was. It's been there for longer, still dividing people in Europe. But don't let it detract completely from the good work that's been done by the community groups on both sides. In coming together to try to change things, they have made such a difference. Recently, Belfast was voted the safest capital city in Europe to walk around. You can get off this bus anywhere on the falls, anywhere in Shankill, you will be made equally and very welcome. They really are some of the friendliest people that you could hope to meet. Now, they have different cultures and they're entitled to. And under the terms of the Good Friday Agreement, these cultures are given what's known as parity of esteem. None is seen as more superior to the other. And it's taken the fear factor out of the equation. People are now no longer afraid to express their opinion or beliefs. People of the Shankill are fiercely loyal to their place inside the United Kingdom. They love the Union flag with the same passion as it's hated by many people on the Falls Road. And on the Falls Road, they love the flag of the Republic of Ireland with the same passion as it's hated by many people on the Shankill. I know hate's a strong word, but it does describe how they feel about each other's emblems. The flag's issue remains to date unresolved. And over 4,000 parades take place every year in Northern Ireland. Every one of them involves a carrying of flags of some sort. On the right, a mural celebrating the band culture of the Shankill. 640 marching bands lead the loyal orders during what's known as the marching season. Most of the paramilitary murals are much the same. Hooded gunmen carrying automatic weapons when you take away the wording. But coming up on the left is a paramilitary mural with a difference. Gunmen who are not wearing masks. Well, that usually means one thing. The characters depicted on that mural are all already dead. If you see their faces or their names are printed beside them, be pretty sure that's the case. On the left, the Court Credit Union is where the Shankill bomb went off. There's a plaque there giving details. There are plaques like that everywhere in Belfast, that there's been a major loss of life. And coming up on the right, the Ulster Tower mural. It commemorates a blood sacrifice that took place in 1916, not the Easter Rising, but the first day of the Battle of the Somme, when so many men of the 36th Ulster Division would die. 760 men from the Shankill fought at the Somme, only 70 would survive. On the left, the loyalty to the British monarchy in little doubt, and on the right, the signing of the Ulster Covenant in 1912, something that eventually brought about the partitioning of Ireland. 500,000 people signed the Covenant and Declaration opposing home rule. Mostly they came from the northeast part of Ireland, and all of the signatories, every one of them, was Protestant. Now, coming up on the right is a very graphic mural. It's a photographic mural that shows the aftermath of some of the bomb attacks. There are some very disturbing images. That's it on the right now. 90% of all the bomb attacks that took place during the Troubles took place in Belfast. So simple mathematics and a little bit of logic would have told you that you were safer anywhere but Belfast. And 1/3 of the population of Belfast did leave. Now, mostly they didn't need to go too far, a few miles outside of Belfast, and things were very, very different. It's like living in a different country. I lived 12 miles outside of Belfast, and it was nothing like this. There wasn't the same paramilitarism. It wasn't the same sectarianism. The two traditions intermingled, they intermixed. They intermarried. Mixed marriages were not unusual. This was in most towns and villages across Northern Ireland. It was only the urban areas, the worse off urban areas of the cities that you had this sectarian hatred. And now people are returning to live in Belfast, but they're certainly not returning to those areas where they feel they might be labelled the way it was in the past. As a result, many of the more affluent areas of Belfast are areas where you won't see any tribal marking, where the two traditions live together harmoniously. But for people that lost loved ones during the Troubles, this Good Friday Agreement was to be a major turning point. They were being asked to vote for peace, but in voting for peace it would mean the release of their loved one's killer. It didn't matter whether they were unionist or nationalist, for the dilemma remained the same. Vote for peace and see the instigator of your grief handed freedom, or don't vote for peace and maybe see another 3,800 dead. 94% in the Republic of Ireland, 70% in Northern Ireland voted for the Good Friday Agreement. And since its implementation, things have changed here dramatically for the better. As you can see, and the very fact that you're here proves it. You can turn right on the Belfast has moved into the top 10 city break destinations in the British Isles. That's incredible, coming from a very low starting point. More people are coming here now than ever before. They come to live, they come to learn, and they now come to visit in such numbers. Last year, 70 cruise ships docked in Belfast. 70. This year's even more. And there's a massive worldwide Irish diaspora. Over 60 million people worldwide, not just claiming an Irish ancestry, but incredibly proud of having an Irish ancestry. And, it's important to know how bad things were, so that you can really appreciate how good things are now. I lived in Belfast in the 70s, worked in Belfast in the 70s, 80s and 90s. I could never have imagined tourists coming to Belfast, let alone Belfast moving into the top 10 city break destination. Coming up on the right is a symbol that's been used throughout centuries in Ireland. It's William of Orange. It's between the two flags. The man that gives the Orange men their name, the Orange Order, founded in 1795. Every 12th of July, they celebrate the victory of King William III of England over King James II of England at the Battle of the Boyne in Ireland. They do it with 18 massive demonstrations across Northern Ireland. They're not demonstrating against anything, they're demonstrating their loyalty to the British monarchy, to the unionist population. It's seen as a form of expression of their culture. To the nationalist population, to many it's seen as a form of triumphalism. For the after effect of the Battle of the Boyne, we'd see the British Constitution as it is today changed to exclude people of the Catholic faith from that monarchy forever. The future's looking really, really bright, but better than that, it's now looking peaceful as well. So in the words of a very famous Irishman, now sadly no longer with us, may your God go with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, when we turn right, that's going to bring us onto Royal Avenue. This is the main shopping thoroughfare of Belfast. So when you leave the bus, if you walk down in front of the City Hall, you're walking into the shopping area. If you go to the back of the City Hall and turn left, that'll bring you to St. George's Market. The bus will be parked at the side of the City Hall. I'll just have to leave you before then, but I'll be able to show you. We'll be actually looking at the City Hall when I leave you. So you just drive up to the lights. When you're looking at the City Hall, turn left and then just go round it. right round the City Hall and then park on the right hand side as you're looking at it. Belfast is a very interesting city, and it's becoming more and more interesting now that the two sides, if you like, are starting to understand more about, if you like, their opposition. We were taught British history in state schools and Irish history in Catholic controlled schools. We both thought we were right, but now it turns out none of us were right. And it's only now that people are starting to understand more about the other side that things are becoming more rational and people are becoming more sensible rather than more extreme. So the future is looking bright, and okay, we've got a bit of a hiccup with our dozy politicians at the moment, but you have to remember most of them come from the old brigade. A lot of them are old dinosaurs. So when it comes to the new generation, a lot of that hatred of the other side because of the troubles will have disappeared, and the future really is looking bright. So when we come up about 200 metres, see that maroon coloured bus is? If you pull there, I jump out there, and all you have to do is go straight ahead to the City Hall, then go round the City Hall and pull up on the left. Now when you're moving off, you have to follow a one-way system, and that one-way system takes you right over to Titanic, you'll be glad to know. You can't go wrong. Just pull in front of them, you'll be fine. So there's the City Hall straight ahead. And you see Queen Victoria at the front. When you're facing her, take a left, go right round the City Hall, and then park on the right-hand side as you're looking at it. And he even laughed at my jokes. That was good. So it makes it good fun. Thank you so much.